Welcome back to the channel. Today I've got a video for you today about the Annex 2179 Zeus. Alright, so this is a big box, guys, so I'm going to have to move the camera around a little bit to show you what we've got here. But this is the Zeus. This is probably, I do have it in Kylo, but this box seems bigger. So this is probably the biggest thing I've ever got from Toys Alliance. It's a pretty cool rendering. It does have the E11, the junk heap version, here on the cover of the box with the Zeus. I did do an overview of the E11, so please check that out if you haven't. But it's a very cool box, very big, barely fits in my space here. It does look like it transforms a little bit to some kind of a ship. It's got a robot mode, a ship mode, and it's a 1/18 scale action figure, just one of those in there. No accessories, it doesn't look like. Very cool box though. The purple's really cool. All the colors and the paint they use for these are really nice. So I'm curious to see, what we get. This Sofubi figure. Not quite sure what that is, but we'll find out together. But very cool box overall. Hopefully the figure is as nice. No other pictures on it, no other renderings. So that is the box, guys. Let's get him open. I realized I probably should show you this really quick. It did come, the Zeus did come in a mailer. Whoops. It did come in a cardboard mailer that clearly identified it as Zeus. So it was packaged really, really well. This is a nice brown box. I'll probably store it back in here when I'm done playing with it and showing you guys if I don't leave it out. But I thought I should show you. They did package it really nice to protect that box. They know a lot of us collectors do keep them in the box. It is collector-friendly packaging, which I do enjoy. It's a premium figure with a premium cost, so it should come with premium packaging. And it did. So I just wanted to show that to you guys. So you see that, there was no damage to this box. This box was in another box, so it was actually triple boxed. When Pia Club shipped it to me, and that is who I got this from. I did get this from Pia Club. All right, so now let's get her open. All right, guys, here's Zeus out of packaging, and I did have to stand up and step back so that I could fit Zeus into the review space, so you can get the full picture. So he is quite big. He is, one of the biggest 1/18 items I have. I don't really have any mechs except for the Tau Empire. I think they're called fire suits or battle suits. Got those two, and this guy is comparable. I think he's a little bit more chunky. He's definitely way more weathered and painted, and but doesn't have the articulation of those crisis suits. I think they're crisis suits. Let me show you quickly. It did come with this instruction sheet. It is the same picture on the box art. It's almost like a mini poster. Mine's got a few little dents in it. It was wrapped in a clear plastic bag. It would be nice to get this laminated or something, but there are directions on the back of how to transform the Zeus from mech robot to spaceship. I did do it one time already. It's not very difficult. It's quite simple, actually. I'm not really into Transformers anymore. I was as a kid, and this had just enough transformation. Anything more than this, I probably wouldn't have been happy, but it's just a quick few turns. It has actually 10 steps here, but it's probably more like, one step is just to put the head on. It's probably more like 8 steps, maybe 7. But but we'll transform it before we go. But it's cool that they threw this in there. Very nice, one sheet, about 8.5 by 11 inches, this sheet here. So let me put that down. Hopefully you can hear me well and you can see everything. I'll try not to bump the camera. This is a bit difficult to do this. There we go. So first off, first thoughts. This thing is really, really well painted. In fact, it is weathered just like a normal 118 acid rain figure that you would expect, or an Annex 2179. The one difference I've noticed though is, although all the paint textures here, typically on a acid rain figure, you know, Annex 2179, I'm just going to use those terms interchangeably, you can feel the texture. On this one you can't. That texturing from the paint is not there, and I think it's because of the type of plastic they used and maybe how they applied this paint as compared to the smaller figures. So you can see all this weathering, and typically you could feel it, but in this case you can't. It's just nice and smooth. It does have tons and tons of details, and you know, it's funny, as I'm looking at this and I'm going, I didn't even realize, like, you know, this is dumb me. I didn't see really the face until, you know, I opened it up. I'm looking at the box and going, oh, there it is right there, but I didn't really see it. And then once I saw that face there, like those are the teeth and the eyes, I started to see maybe faces in other places, like maybe these are two eyes and a mouth here. And then maybe even down here in the legs, maybe those are two eyes and a mouth there. I started to see faces everywhere. But once you see it, you know, you can't unsee it. But otherwise, it is a pretty awesome looking, we'll call it a mech, I guess. Not much articulation. I think when I counted it, it was eight points of articulation. So it's almost like a giant 5 POA with a few extra cuts. So it's got a, we'll call it a bicep swivel and a knee swivel, and then hip swivel, shoulder swivel. And it does have this cut joint across the waist that you need to transform it. But it's not really a point of articulation as much as it is a functionality to transform it. But this thing has so much detail all over it, guys. It's got to be one of the most intricate painted items that I own. The little lightning bolt here, just all the different colors and shading. It does have a right there, it says rescue push, like there's a button. You could see here on the sort of the fingers, they look like blowtorches, or like, you know, if you've ever handled a small blowtorch, it looks like that sort of when you've used it and it heats up. It does say Zeus 0 right there. Again, Zeus with the 0. Sorry if I bumped the camera there. Turn them around, upside down. It's all this weathering. It is sort of a hollow plastic. And I think they just had to do that because this thing would weigh, you know, 15 pounds if it wasn't hollow. It's nice though. I actually, you know, it was one of the things that turned me off with the Junkyard Knights that were kind of solicited at the same time as the Zeus. I didn't really care for their colors and their outfits, but I do like them on this robot, on this mech. You can see there's little vents here behind the, call it the behind the shoulders. Again here at the top. It's a really nice looking figure, guys. Lots of paintwork everywhere, tons of sculpting, just tons of sculpting. You can almost see if I can put that down, if I can show you. Sort of gears. It looks like sort of tires or treads or gears and piping in here in the back on the bottom. Thrusters there look like thrusters for the ship. Even has like almost like sculpted toes on the bottom. This thing's really nice, guys. It's just so big, but I like it. I think it looks pretty good. I don't have anything like this. Like I said, I barely have any mechs or anything in my collection, so this thing's gonna really stand out. And the colors, they pop. As weathered and dirty as it is, it's still yellow, it's still orange, it's still purple and pink, but it just looks great. You can see all this piping, all this, you know, it looks like a gas cap there. It's just a lot going on in here, just so much sculpt. Pretty impressive, if you ask me. You know, this is my video, my opinion. Pretty impressive for what it is. Look at all this. It looks like rust, chipped off rust. It's just weird that, you know, it's just smooth though. It's just painted right on. Where most acid rain, I could feel all this. You could feel the texturing. And this one, it's really just visual. It's a visual piece, but very nice. Let me pause the video now, and I'm going to transform it and bring it back to you. And I think once I transform it, I can bring the camera up a little bit closer, I think. So one moment for you, and just a second for me too. All right, so here is Zeus transformed, and I haven't put the canopy on the cockpit here because I wanted to show you the detail inside of the cockpit. It is all nicely painted. You can see there's a seat. It's got sculpting and monitors both sides. A little tougher to show it this way, but you can see all the dials there. There's some green, metallic, purple metallic. Looks like monitors, buttons, knobs. Very nicely done in there. And again, even the seat, it looks, you can see there, it looks dirty. Looks like someone's been working in a shop and they sat down in the seat, or they've used this thing a lot and there's a lot of wear and tear in there. Very nice. You know, I'm a little surprised how much I like it as a ship. I hadn't really thought as much about it as a ship, as more of like a robot. I will say though, when the canopy's on like this, it doesn't sit, you can see the light through there. It doesn't like, it doesn't mount flush like I want. That's something, you know, that I don't like. You can see now how it looks like this is a window that someone would be looking out. But you can see the light through there. I think you can see that right there. It doesn't sit flush like I want it to. You know, head on like this, even at a certain angle, you can't tell, but when you get that profile, you know, there's no hiding that, you know, that gap there. So that's a little disappointing. I would think they would have worked that out. I don't think, you know, that I have this on incorrectly. It's almost like there's a notch underneath these two pieces here that the inside, here's the inside of the, see, it's just a hollow plastic that these grab onto. And you know, according to the directions, let me just show them to you guys. According to the directions, you know, it really does just, it just pops right on, and you line up the teeth, where is it, to the back of this seat here. And when you do that, it does just kind of pop on. It latches on almost, I should say. And you can see there, it's on. And those teeth are lined up to this back of the seat, and then there's that gap. So that's disappointing. I would have thought they would have engineered that and figured that out, so that wouldn't happen, because that's not going to be very good for photography, you know, or any other, you know, unless you're, you know, if you're a kid and you have in your imagination, you're playing with it, then there's, you know, no big deal. But this is quite an expensive item for a kid. that would be playing with it. Not that I won't let my kid play with this. That is one thing about this is, as big as it is and expensive as it is durable. I don't see this thing breaking. If it rolls off the couch, this plastic is just soft enough that I don't see it like cracking and breaking, say, a Star Wars ship would if you dropped it. The plastic isn't that brittle, and it is hollow. There is some give to it. You can kind of squeeze it almost, and I think you can hear it. It's just a different kind of plastic. But in ship mode, I do really like it. In fact, I might leave it like this on one of my landing pads or something. Let's see right there. It's like some kind of a gear. But every angle you turn it, you know, the piping and the hoses and stuff, they kind of pop out in a different way. Very nice piece. Is it worth what I paid for it? That's the question. And I don't know. I do like it a lot, though. I have to admit, I do like it a lot. As expensive as things are nowadays, it's a lot of plastic. It's a big piece. I don't know. I can't say. I think if you don't like the fact that it's kind of hollow, or the fact that there was that gap there, that it doesn't seal flush, or maybe you don't like how it looks in road, you only like one of the modes, this probably isn't for you. Let's see, I'm trying to transform it on camera here. This probably is not for you. I like it. I'm glad I got it. In fact, I know that they have a green one coming up, and I am tempted to grab that green one because it would go well with my Grime City jail cell that is green. I do like this thing. You could see it was really easy. It's, you know, I've only transformed it now. I guess this is my third time. And it's pretty easy. Let's see if I could just get that on there flush. There we go. And it's much more flush when it comes on this way. But now when I'm looking at it, and I don't know if it's just because I did it, you kind of see there's a little bit of a gap right there at the mouth that I'm not sure was there before. I might not have put it on completely correct, because I just tried to do that while I was talking. But let's do a quick size comparison and compare this to a couple other figures so we can kind of gauge, you know, the complete, you know, size of this sucker. Okay, here is a sampling for size comparisons. We've got a Marvel Legends Hydra Stomper 1/12 scale 6-inch figure here, and you can see he's still bigger than that. There's Anubis from Annex 2179. There is the new deluxe Sabine Wren from the Star Wars Vintage Collection. We've got Lex Luthor from the DC Spin Master set. And this is the Joy Toy Corvus Belli Knight of Sepulchre that I've done a video on. I don't know the order of how these videos will come out, but I did do a video on him, which should be coming up shortly if it hasn't already. But he's kind of a deluxe figure, but in the middle. But you can see these guys are 375, 4-inch. He's probably about 5, almost 5. He's big even for a 6-inch, this Hydra Stomper, and this guy just towers above. So he's a good 7, 8 inches. But I think they all line up pretty well, actually, with each other. The idea with the Hydra Stomper is someone is inside of there. So you could imagine that, you know, there is a 1/18 figure in there operating the Hydra Stomper. But otherwise, it's got good scale. I think it looks great. I think it's just a matter of, you know, is this something that you want in your collection or that you're willing to pay for? There are, I think there's a green version coming. There's a red version. There's this version. So there's at least 3 versions. So if you like it, but you don't like the color, You have options. I like it. I think it's great. I think I might get the green one now, for my like security forces for my Grime City jail that I have. I think this thing's great. I don't think it's for everyone. I know that there'll probably be some people that don't like the lack of articulation. They might not like the color, or they might not like the material, that it's made out of. Because I thought it was going to be made out of something like this, a nice hard plastic, but it is actually hollow and kind of squishy. Like I said, it's kind of soft. Not, it's not a stuffed animal, a plushie, but it's definitely not the same kind of plastic that they use with like Star Wars ships or any of the other figures. In fact, I don't think I have anything quite like this in my collection I can think of. I think my biggest gripe is that the head, whether it's this way or the cockpit canopy, it doesn't sit flush. And I don't like light going through it, especially if I'm going to try to take photographs with this thing. Those are things that, you got to kind of take into account. But overall, I like it. Can I suggest it or recommend it to someone? I don't know. I think this is a really an acquired taste. So I'll say I can't recommend it. But if you've seen this video and it helps you decide, that's great. I really like it. Like I said, I think I might get the green one. I'm glad that I got it. The paint job, the sculpt are, just out of this world. And so that is it, guys. That's my overview. I'm going to shoot some photos with it. We'll see how it looks. I'm sure it's going to look good. I've just got to take into account that that lack of the cockpit sitting flush, because I see even now with the light hitting it, though it's open right here because it's dark on the inside, you can get away with it. Maybe if I turn it, yeah, see, and it doesn't show right there, but it's just the cockpit when the ship is down on its profile side, where it really bugs me the most. So I'm going to shoot some photos, guys. Thank you for stopping by. Let me know what you think of this. I know it's not for everybody, but let me know. I'm interested to see what you guys in the community think about it. All right, I'll catch you next time. Thank you for watching.